Okay, so I know I mentioned we were going to go to the next page, but before we do that, I want to go ahead and do this worksheet together. So these are the vocabulary words from the lesson we just did. So complete words with the same meaning as the words in italics. And italics are words that are leaning. So if you look at this word, you can see that it's not straight, but it's actually leaning a little bit to the right. So if we look at number 1, it says we need to find a solution. So the words in italics are actually right here. Oopsies, yeah, find a solution. So you can see that these words are leaning. So the words work it out, or the phrase work it out, has the same meaning as find a solution. So if you remember from our first video, we learned what work something out means, and it means to find a solution. Okay, so go ahead and complete this activity. And actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go ahead and do this whole worksheet, and then we'll work on it together, or look at it together afterwards. But let me explain part B, or exercise B. So after you finish exercise A, it says complete the sentences in part B. Okay, so you need to complete these sentences and use the words from exercise A. Right here, this set of words, and then match a sentence in part A with a sentence in part B to make conversations. So, for example, did you reach an agreement with your customer? That you can see that matches with A. No, I didn't. I'll have to negotiate. So negotiate is a word somewhere here, and obviously it's right here because it starts with N. So negotiate means reach an agreement. So you can see here, did you reach an agreement with your customer? No, I didn't. I'll have to negotiate with him again tomorrow. So again, you can look at this set of conversations and match them. Number 1 is A, but number 2 is not B. You have to check carefully. In fact, if you look at it, it's a yes-no question. So you have to look for a yes or a no. But anyway, I'll let you go ahead and work on this. And you can pause the video. And when you are finished, you can continue. Okay. Okay. So let's look at number 2. Write the first letters of your name here. So the words in italics are the first letters of your name. And we can also say your initials. So I know there's an I there, but let me... Actually, no, it's okay. Let me do it like this. Okay. I'm just going to type it like this instead of making it fit on the blanks. So, yeah, your initials, okay? And then Trisha is very tired. So very tired, that's the same as the word exhausted. Okay, exhausted, okay? And then number 4, he doesn't want to reach an agreement. And we talked about this earlier, so this one is negotiate. Okay. Can I move this over? Okay, negotiate. And then number 5, we have to take responsibility for the problem. So take responsibility for is deal with. Deal with. And then number 6, she doesn't want to do her part of the project. So we talked about this earlier as well, but in this case we use share. Okay, she doesn't want to do her share of the project. Okay, so now let's look at exercise B. Okay, let me go down. Okay, so number 2, are you going to tell your boss about the problem? So we can see that this is a yes-no question, as I mentioned earlier. So the answer is either D or F. But since it says, are you going to tell your boss? We can see, no, I'm going to try to, and then we can say, work it out. Work it out with my coworker first. Okay, so I'm going to try to find a solution with my coworker first. Okay, so this is F. And then number 3, I always do more work than you. Okay, and then the answer to this is letter D. No, you don't. I always do my share. Okay, and then number 4, My coworker always leaves work early. What should I do? Okay, and then you can see a big hint here. It says you should. So letter C. Oops, C. You should ask your boss to deal with it. Okay. And then number 5. What is the chart for? Okay. We can see here. We have to write our job duties and our initials on it. So this is letter B. Oops, B. And then finally number 6. How are you feeling today? I'm completely exhausted. Oh, I spelled that incorrectly. Oh no, my baby's crying. Just a second. Okay, I'm coming soon, baby. Okay, that's letter E. All right, hold on just a second. Okay. It's definitely not easy to record a video with a baby. But anyway, so let's go ahead and take a look at our next page in our student's book. So page 98. We're going to do our grammar lesson. This is verb tense contrast, and we're going to focus on the present perfect and present perfect continuous tense. So let's go ahead and watch the video. Let me go here and play the video from here.
Verb tense contrast. Unit 8, Lesson B. Present perfect and present continuous. Watch and listen. The present perfect is formed by have, has, plus past participle. One use of the present perfect is to talk about recently finished actions, often with the word just, with no specific time of completion of those actions. The present perfect continuous is formed by have, has, plus been, plus present participle, ing. Use the present perfect continuous to talk about actions that started in the past, continue to now, and will probably continue in the future. Present perfect. Recently finished action.
Yolanda has just mopped the floor. It's clean now.
Present perfect continuous. Continuing action.
Yolanda has been mopping the floor for 15 minutes. She's still working on it because it isn't clean yet.
Present perfect. Recently finished action.
Felix and Pablo have just painted the house. It looks great now.
Present perfect continuous. Continuing action.
Felix and Pablo have been painting the house all morning, but they haven't finished yet.
Present perfect. Recently finished action.
I have just spoken with my manager. She had ideas for improving customer service.
Present perfect continuous. Continuing action.
I have been speaking with my manager for an hour. We're still discussing ways to improve customer service.
Check your understanding. Complete the first sentence using the correct form of the verb in parentheses. Now complete the second sentence using the correct form of the verb in parentheses. Listen to the sentences.
Yolanda has just mopped the floor. It's clean now.
Yolanda has been mopping the floor for 15 minutes. She's still working on it because it isn't clean yet.
Felix and Pablo have just painted the house. It looks great now.
Felix and Pablo have been painting the house all morning, but they haven't finished yet.
I have just spoken with my manager. She had ideas for improving customer service.
I have been speaking with my manager for an hour. We're still discussing ways to improve customer service.
Let's review. Present perfect. Recently finished action.
Yolanda has just mopped the floor. It's clean now.
Present perfect continuous. Continuing action.
Yolanda has been mopping the floor for 15 minutes.
Okay, so let's go back to our book. And I hope that makes sense. So let me just explain a couple of things. So it's not necessary to use just, but it's often used together with present perfect tense, especially if it just recently finished. In fact, I just used just. You can also use just with other tenses as well. So, for example, if I say, if somebody asks, "Oh, where's Mr. Thompson?" and someone might answer, "Oh, he just left." It means that he left just a moment ago, like very recently. We use just with past tense as well. Okay, let's take a look at exercise 2. Okay, practice. Complete the sentences. Use the present perfect or present perfect continuous forms of the verbs, and use just where possible. So meaning when it's possible, you can use just, but you don't have to use it for every sentence. Okay, let's go ahead and take some time to do this. You can pause the video and continue when you're finished. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play the audio. So listen and follow along and check your answers.
Page 98. Exercise 2A. 1.
Daria Thompson is the owner of Daria's Donut Shop. She has been selling donuts at this location for more than 20 years.
Okay, so just I'm gonna make a quick comment. So this means she is still selling them. She started at some point in the past and is still selling them. So this is present perfect continuous. Okay, let's keep going.
2. It's 7 a.m. Daria has been making donuts for 3 hours.
Okay, this is also continuous. She's still making donuts.
3.
It's 7:30 a.m. Daria has just opened the shop for customers.
Okay, and this is present perfect tense. And since opening a shop is very quick, we can say she has just opened the shop for customers. And it seems that her shop opens at 7:30. So if it's 7:30 right now, then she just opened it. So she has just opened the shop for customers.
4. It's 10:30 a.m. Daria's son has been helping her all morning.
5.
He has just finished cleaning the counters and shelves. Everything is spotless.
6.
Daria needs more help in the shop. She has decided to hire Yolanda.
Okay, so for this one, you noticed that it did not use just because it's probably unlikely that she immediately decided or just recently decided to hire Yolanda. She was probably thinking about it for a while, and that's usually the process with hiring people. You don't make a quick decision, but you usually think about it for a while. So we can just say she has decided to hire Yolanda. Okay?
7. Yolanda's shift begins at 6 a.m. today. She has been waiting for the bus for 30 minutes. She's worried that she's going to be late.
8.
It's 6:05 a.m. Yolanda has just called to say she will be late.
9.
It's 6:30 a.m. Yolanda has just arrived at the store. Daria is really glad to see her.
10.
It's noon. Yolanda has been working for several hours, and she's ready to take a break.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the next page. Okay, Actually, let me open it to both pages. Okay, so exercise B says, talk with a partner. Look at Yolanda's work schedule. Make sentences about the things she has just done and has been doing at the following times: 6:15, 6:30, 7:30, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. Okay? Okay, so let's take a look at the example sentence. It says, it's 6:15 a.m. Yolanda has just arrived, and we can see her schedule here. At 6:15 a.m., she arrives and she turns off the security alarm. So we can actually say it's 6:15 a.m. Yolanda has just arrived and turned off the security alarm. So both of these you can use the present perfect tense. And then let's look at this example. It's 11 o'clock a.m. Yolanda has been serving customers for 3.5 hours. So if you look at 11 o'clock a.m., actually, let's look at this one. And you can see that she started serving customers at 7:30 and she ended at 11 to go eat lunch. But you'll see later that she begins again. But anyway, so at 11 o'clock, she has been serving customers for 3.5 hours. She's going to continue, so we can use the present perfect tense. I'm sorry, present perfect continuous tense. She has been serving customers for 3.5 hours, as you can see, starting from 7:30. And you can also include she has been serving customers and taking phone orders for 3.5 hours. Okay, so go ahead and take some time to make sentences for each of these times. And you can pause the video and resume when you're finished. Okay, so let's look at 6:30. So we can see that activities are open the cash register and make coffee. So we can say it's 6:30 a.m. Yolanda has just opened the cash register, or we can just say Yolanda has opened the cash register and she has made coffee. Okay, or you can make two separate sentences. Yolanda has opened the cash register and Yolanda has made coffee, or you can put them together using and then take out the second Yolanda. So Yolanda has opened the cash register and made coffee. Okay, so this one is present perfect tense. And then let's look at 7:30. So it's 7:30 a.m. Yolanda has just opened the shop for customers. Since it opens at 7:30, we can use just. And then let's look at 11 o'clock, and you can see one example here already. And I gave you another example earlier. You can say Yolanda has been serving customers and taking phone orders for 3.5 hours. Okay, and then let's look at 11 o'clock. 12 o'clock. So we can say Yolanda has just eaten lunch. So she finishes at 12 o'clock. So we can say she has just eaten lunch, or Yolanda has eaten lunch, Okay, and then go to the bank. We can say Yolanda has gone to the bank. Yolanda has gone to the bank. So she probably went to the bank sometime between 11 and 12, like maybe 11:30, maybe 11:45. So we don't need to say just gone. You can just say she has gone to the bank. Okay. And then let's look at 2 o'clock. So we can see that Yolanda has refilled the sugar containers and received a shipment of coffee. Okay, so make sure you include those articles since we are making sentences. Okay, when you make short notes like this, then you don't need to include the articles, but it's better to use a and the in these cases. So it's 2 o'clock p.m. Yolanda has refilled the sugar containers and received a shipment of coffee. Okay, and then let's look. Oh, actually, you could even look at the 2 o'clock between this time frame, and you can say Yolanda has been serving customers and taking phone orders for 2 hours after lunch, as you can see, because she took a break here and then she continued starting at noon. But let's continue and let's look at 4 o'clock, the last one. So we can say Yolanda has gone home, or Yolanda has just gone home. Okay, because it looks like she leaves at 4 o'clock. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and go to part 3. So I will see you in that video.